Locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke loves wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Duke's Rasslin crew, do you hear that? Do you hear that beautiful sound? That's the sound of peace and quiet, Jack, because the Boston bad boy is not here today. That's right, I am the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour, the Duke. And I am all on my own. All by myself. Yeah, you didn't know I could do that, huh? Eric Carmen, all by myself, good stuff. Don't sue me. I'm not giving you any royalties for this. Don't sue me. That's right. The Boston bad boy reached out to me and let me know that he is stuck on a boat. That's right. He has lost at sea. Wasn't able to make it today. So I decided, hey, I'm not even going to the secret location. Okay? I am at the Duke's special throne here, recording this message old school style, folks. We're taking a blast from the past. Welcome back to the Duke Loves Wrestling Podcast, the show about pro wrestling and everything else. That's right. Speaking of which, listen, this is going to be unpredictable, okay? We're going to kind of be, what do we call that word there? Spontaneous. Just going to throw some stuff out there, folks, okay? First and foremost, I do want to say, this administration that we have right now, the alleged President Trump, separating families, separating children from their families, just disgusting. Shout out to Congress for finally stepping up and doing something about that. To his credit, the alleged president did sign off ending this practice here, and it didn't start with him, I understand that, but still, you know, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on the politics, but when you take children of asylum seekers and you separate them and you throw them in cages, what are we doing here, folks, huh? That's not America. That's not the way it should be. Cut that out. But it was important for folks to stand up, speak up, and speak out. I know a lot of people out there always say, oh, what's the point of social media, Duke? Why do you always talk on social media? It doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Step one, recognize the problem. You got to talk about it, okay? You got to bring awareness that a problem exists. After we bring awareness, then folks can acknowledge that there is a problem. You can't do anything until those two steps are met. Okay, because then you can start working on solutions from there. So, hey, I'm all for folks sending out things on social media and organizing. Let's put an end to these problems. It's something that I did recently when it came to that punk Big Cass. I reached out to my good friend Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and I let him know I don't like Big Cass. I think he's a punk. And I had a bunch of other folks behind me who supported me. And Vince saw that, and suddenly Big Cass was kicked out of the WWE. They didn't even wish him well in his future endeavors. Now, I'm not saying that it's all because of me, but what I am saying is it's kind of a coincidence there that the Duke says he doesn't like Big Cass anymore, and suddenly Big Cass is not in the WWE anymore. Okay? The guy was a liar anyway. He is not 7 feet tall, folks. I'm here to tell you this right now. This is a fact. You can ask Stone Cold Steve Austin, okay? Big Cass is a liar. He's not 7 feet tall. He's not handsome. And to be honest with you, I think he's the one who's a little soft. And if he has a problem with that, that's fine. My lawyers will sue if he puts his hands on me. Keep that in mind. That's right. What else is going on in the world today, folks? How are you doing? It's a little cloudy out there in normally sunny Boston, Massachusetts, which is unfortunate. You know, I was listening to some music lately. Kanye West. You know, he made some comments that were a little ridiculous. He's literally the troll of the century with some of his ridiculous comments lately. But he's been producing some excellent records. I mean, you know, you got Nas that just put out a new project. Kid Cudi just put out a new project. Both of those are pretty fantastic. But that doesn't matter. You know why? Because the Carters. We're talking Jay-Z and Beyonce, the king and the queen of the universe. They just put out a new album. And let me tell you something, folks. Okay? It gets the Duke Loves Wrestling's stamp of approval. It's fantastic. Excellent album. I encourage everybody to listen to it. And take your time and digest it, okay? The name of the album is Everything Is Love. I know that it was exclusively on Tidal. I'm not sure if it's being released in the record stores or what have you. See that? I'm old school, baby. I say record store still. But see if you can find it because it's unbelievable. And I'll tell you right now, there's a song on there, Black Effect. That's my favorite song on the whole album. Fantastic. Jay-Z, he's talking his stuff. Beyonce, she's doing a little rapping on that too. It's pretty cool. That's right. So, folks, I got a message from international wrestling superstar Tyra Rusame. You know, she was supposed to face James Ellsworth in China this past weekend, and it didn't happen. But she sent me a message, and she told me I better play it on this week's episode. So, you know, we're going to get to that in a little bit because I don't want any problems from Tyra Rusame. I don't know if you've seen her before. You can check out the Duke Loves Rasslin Facebook fan page. I'll post some of her content up on there. The lady is tough, man, and she means business. So, and I just can't deal with her threatening my life, so I'm going to put up some of her stuff just to be on the safe side there. That's right. Okay, so with that said, I think it's about that time that we do a little Run the Ropes. It's time to run the ropes. It's when I cover the top stories in the world of professional wrestling. And listen, my good friend Vincent Kennedy McMahon asked me for at least this week, no bell. He said, Duke, when you do run the ropes, can you get rid of the bell? I said, Vince, for you, my good friend, no problem. Let's go. All In, we're talking about that event being put on by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. Guess what, folks? These guys just keep getting bigger and bigger with this thing. They are looking for distributors, okay? They want to allow this event to be broadcast somewhere, live. We're talking pay-per-view possibly. We're talking online streaming, the whole 9 yards. This is going to be a pretty big event, the largest indie event that we know of in modern history. Now listen, I'm just going to tell you right now. I think it's getting too big too soon for these guys, okay? It's too much for one event. It's like they're trying to sign everybody to appear on this card. I believe they should spread this out a little bit so they have room to take the next step, right? So here's what you do. You announce now that there's going to be another All In, and then another one after that. You limit, at this point, how much more you're going to add to this event because you can save it for the next time. And that way you can get a hold on things, because what happens is you want to under-promise and over-deliver. And I think that unfortunately Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, they're kind of over-promising at this point. Things are going to fall apart if they don't step it up and start reining some of this nonsense in. That's just my take. Now, hopefully it's a good event. I'm pretty sure it will be because all people involved are highly talented, great folks. Even though I know that Cody Rhodes, in particular, he and Vince Russo have been butting heads. Vince tried to muscle his way in and invite himself to the event. Cody Rhodes basically shut that down real quick, and I don't think that's a work either. I think that's real life, folks. That's just the way it is. Shout out to Vince Russo. Hopefully you're taking it easy and not doing anything too controversial out there like you often do. But seriously, I look forward to All In. I think it's going to be a great event. I hope these guys rein themselves in a little bit. Let's tighten up the ship. Leave something for the fans to want on the next go-around, because there should be a next go-around. This isn't a one-off and that's it. Come on, Cody. You are the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. You know about promotion. You know what to do here. So now it's time to apply those skills that you've learned throughout your entire life just being around your dad. That's right. All right, moving on to something else here, folks, and something pretty serious. Big Cass. Big Cass was future endeavored from the WWE, although he wasn't wished well. What's that all about? There's been plenty of speculation that this guy is being a jerk backstage, rubbing people the wrong way, drinking too much and acting up, all that sort of stuff. Who knows what's true and what's not. What I do know is I never liked Big Cass. As I said earlier in the show, he's a liar. He's not 7 feet tall, as Stone Cold Steve Austin. I did enjoy the fact that he got tanned up and he has a little pudgy belly. I think that's funny. I think that that's a great way to get over as a heel, and he was getting there. But there was still something missing, and maybe he just needed more time to redevelop because he had been out for so long because of his injury. In that sense, I wish Big Cass well wherever he ends up. I hope that he does very well in his next promotion so that somebody even better than him can come along and beat him, and it means something. Because Big Cass, I don't give a damn how you feel, pal. I never liked you. I don't like your face. I don't like your hair. I don't like the razors in your boots to make you seem like you're taller than you are. I'm a short guy. I don't even wear heels, but yet you're wearing heels on those wrestling boots. You're a punk, okay? And again, you try to put your hands on me, Big Cass, I'm going to get my lawyer involved. Just keep that in mind, pal. So anyway, WWE got rid of him. Good riddance. See you again. Hopefully not anytime soon. That's right. Now, folks, as you know, we had NXT TakeOver and we had the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Those are the two big events this past weekend. And let me tell you something. It was just off the chain, brother. I'm telling you, Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, they put on a classic, a mat classic. It was a last man standing match, like this no disqualification sort of thing. They beat the hell out of each other. It was fantastic. Great match, great match. But make no mistake about it, at least on the main roster, the ladies stole the show. This match between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey by itself, we're not going to talk about the finish yet, but by itself was a fantastic match. They did a great job, what have you there. Carmella had James Ellsworth, surprise, surprise, interfere with her match against Asuka, which was interesting. And Carmella was able to retain the Women's Championship over there on SmackDown. Ellsworth, you were supposed to be on my show last week. I understand the Boston Bad Boy pissed you off, so you couldn't do it. Vince McMahon and I, we've made amends, we've made up, so I understand. But this is cool. I mean, I'm all for Ellsworth being back in the WWE and being with Carmella. I think that's a good combination. And shout out to my good friend, Carmella's dad there, my buddy there, Paul. It's my man. But seriously, I think that Carmella's doing a great job as a champion, and she's a local girl, so keep up the great work there. On the other side there, aside from the AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura match, which was just a barn burner, Braun Strowman, he won the Money in the Bank champion briefcase, so now he can challenge anyone, and it looks like he's going to challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. That'll be interesting. These guys should be on a collision course with each other, so I'm all for it. I'm glad it wasn't any punks like Roman Reigns or anybody like that. I can't stand his face, by the way. Whatever. Speaking of which, another person whose face I can't stand, that's Seth Rollins. I'm glad you lost. I'm glad you lost, pal, to my man, Dolph Ziggler. Okay? Dolph Ziggler is a better wrestler than you. He's more handsome than you. I believe that he probably smells better than you. The whole 9 yards there. Dolph Ziggler is everything in you, sir. You leave a lot to be desired, just so you know. That's right. Moving on. Okay. Listen, let me tell you right now. I'm just going to jump to the top story here. 5 Feet of Fury, Alexa Bliss, the woman who I've said on this particular podcast, Duke Loves Wrestling podcast, the Duke has let you all know that Alexa Bliss is the MVP of the WWE, okay? And she continues to prove me right because she understands that the Duke needs to be proven right every chance that she gets. That's how much respect Alexa Bliss has for the Duke. Keep that in mind, folks, okay? Let me tell you something. She won the Money in the Bank ladder match. She beat everybody, including Lana, including Naomi, including Sasha Banks, including Bayley. She beat them all, okay? She beat them all. Charlotte, she beat her too. And then she cashed in later on in the night. And she took advantage when Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey were beating the hell out of each other. We're talking about Alexa Bliss taking a briefcase and beating the hell out of Ronda Rousey, beating the hell out of Nia Jax. She took advantage, had the referee call the bell. She pinned Nia Jax after doing the finishing maneuver. 1, 2, 3. We're talking about a 5-time. Is that 6 or is that 5? I lost count. Champion in Alexa Bliss. She's awesome, man. I mean, seriously, just Lexi, I'm very proud of you. You've come a long way. In NXT, everyone took you for granted. Same thing with Carmella, by the way. Everyone took you guys for granted. And it really is fantastic to see 2 champions on that level. And the quality of your work is champion level, champion caliber work there. It's fantastic. And anyone who disagrees with me, I don't really care. your opinion really didn't matter in the first place. It's all about my girl, 5 Feet of Fury, Alexa Bliss. She continues to prove that pound for pound, with the exception of AJ Styles, there's nobody better than Alexa Bliss right now in that company. It's just not happening. It's not happening. She is the end-all, be-all. Okay, and you can quote me on that one, Jack. Keep up the great work, Lexi. And also, as an aside, listen, Velveteen Dream. You thought I wasn't going to talk about you, huh? Velveteen Dream. This guy, during NXT TakeOver, he took a punkin' Ricochet, carried his ugly self in that match. Ricochet was botching everything he wants to do. Flippy move mania. I don't understand this guy. I never liked this guy. I wish he would go away, this guy. But anyway, you took a guy like Velveteen Dream who knows what he's doing. He was able to carry Ricochet's you-know-what and make something out of what was going to be nothing, okay? Velveteen Dream put on a performance of a lifetime in that match against Ricochet at NXT TakeOver Chicago. The crowd loved it. It was a solid match. Great job, Dream. I'm telling you right now, folks, Velveteen Dream, at this point right now, he's the next Miz. If he keeps going the way that he's going, he's going to be the next Macho Man Randy Savage. And he possibly could be the first Velveteen Dream. Meaning, he's going to continue to just be so fantastic that you can't compare him to anybody else. He's going to be in a class all on his own. But that's the kind of upside this kid has. He's only about 22, 23 years old, mind you. He's fantastic. Everything he does. On the mic, in the ring, the way that he does his thing, Velveteen Dream, without a doubt, is just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And he's come a long way from losing in Tough Enough, which just lets you know those little reality shows, although they're interesting and entertaining to watch, they are not the be-all, end-all. I mean, it's the same thing with the Diva Search. The majority of the Diva Search winners didn't make it, but the ladies who were part of it, they're the ones who ended up being big-time stars on the main roster in the WWE. That's right. All right, folks, that does it for Run the Ropes. Up next, I got to play this message here from international wrestling superstar and the professional badass, Tyra Rusame. That's right, we'll be right back.
This is former WWE superstar Al Snow and magician to the blind. You're listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
This is international superstar, baddest chick, exotic panther, Tyra Rusame. And I just finished rearranging faces here in Bangkok, Thailand for the World Underground Wrestling. I was gonna do that to that chinless and spineless James Ellsworth last weekend in Harbin, China. But he was too afraid to face me. Cheh, just like the other weaklings out here in Asia. Why? Because Tyra Rusame is the baddest. And remember, Duke, the next time I see you, I'm going to kick your ass!
You know, folks, I really wonder about that Tyra Rusame. It's like instead of always trying to threaten somebody, she needs to learn how to love somebody or at least like somebody. I mean, Jesus, she's always threatening to rearrange faces and beat people up. Threatens to kick my ass all the time. I mean, come on, Tyra. I do what you tell me to do. You say play the message. I play the message. I talk about you on the show. I admit that I'm afraid of you because I absolutely am. There's no reason for you to be threatening to always mess me up, okay? If you keep it up, I'm going to send my lawyers, even though they have no jurisdiction in Bangkok, Thailand. But I know that you travel back and forth. You enter the United States. You threaten my life. I'm going to have you arrested. That's the end of that. I'm sick of you, okay? I am sick of you bullying me. You know I'm afraid of you, and you're taking advantage of it. Jeez. And that punk James Ellsworth, you know, James, I don't blame you. You were afraid of messing around with Tyra Rusame. That's why you never made it to China last week, even though you were scheduled to perform for Middle Kingdom Wrestling. Shout out to Adrian and their champion, Big Sam. Hey, it is what it is, man. Ellsworth felt that he could take a butt-whooping more so from Asuka than he could from Tyra Rusame, which is pretty interesting. But that's a whole other story there. But yeah, shout out to all of our international wrestling superstars out there. Duke Loves Rasslin will feature you. In fact, folks, listen, if you know an indie wrestler, if you know any wrestler, and you feel that they would be a good fit to come on the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast, you know I'll interview them, send me a message on Twitter at Duke Loves Rasslin, Facebook Duke Loves Rasslin. You can even email me, Duke Loves Rasslin, that's RASSLIN, at gmail.com. All right, let's get some of your favorites out there on the show. Give them some exposure. That's what we're all about here, folks. Speaking of which, we got a punk out there. We got a punk by the name of Babam, okay? And let me tell you something. It's coming up, folks, okay? Summer Slam weekend. A little something by the name of Gamer Slam. That's the Saturday before SummerSlam. It's the best way to remember that. SummerSlam's on Sunday. This is on Saturday. I'm going to take on Babam, okay? And I'm going to leave it all on the line for the one and the only XBit Gaming Championship, okay? If you go over to facebook.com/XBit Gaming, you can see their channel. They have live streams of gaming. It's retro gaming, so you know all your favorites from NES, Super NES, from Genesis, you name it. This guy has it all, going all the way up to, I believe, PS2. And, jeez, just some fun games there. But he keeps challenging the Duke. I keep beating him, and he keeps coming back for more. So I told him he's going to have to put up a championship for this if I'm going to keep wasting my time playing games with him. It's almost like I'm training this guy on how to be a decent video game player. But anyway, we are going to play 3 games that are pro wrestling games, okay? So here's how it's going to go down. Babam and I have to decide mutually on the first 2. I'm going to put it out there for you folks, okay? I want you to go to the Facebook page, go to Twitter, hashtag. You ready for this? You got a hashtag, okay? We are talking about Gamer Slam 2018. So you got to put that whole thing in there. Hashtag Gamer Slam 2018. Let us know what pro wrestling game. It's got to be in between ColecoVision and PS2. But any pro wrestling game that you want to see us play against each other, you know, like WWE No Mercy or something like that. Love that game. Wrestling Superstars, WWE. Whatever game you want us to play against each other, if enough of you vote for that game, we're going to do it. Okay? Which, it's not going to matter. I'm going to win anyway, folks. You know how it goes. That's right. The man of the hour right here. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Babam, I'm going to expose you. Okay? I'm going to expose you in so many ways. Most importantly, I have it on good authority that this Babam does not care about the fans. And in the next coming weeks, I'm going to plead my case. I'm going to lay out all the facts, and then you all are going to see, okay? He's the bad guy, not me. I'm the guy that's doing this. I dedicate my win to all of you gaming wrestling fans out there. We're going to do this. We're the nerds. These guys who like to be pretenders, they're phonies. He probably never read a comic book in his life. I call it a gaming paddle, and he makes fun of me, but he gives me a broken unit. No, I'm telling you right now, folks, I'm going to do it for you. We're going to destroy this guy. We're going to expose all these so-called wrestling fans, these so-called gamers who are nothing more than pretenders. That's the way it goes. You got that right. Okay, folks, up next, I'm going to address something. I'm going to address something that was in the Duke's Rasslin Crew Facebook group. Okay, and there's been a couple of people who've been commenting, and it centers around one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time, Mr. Rey Mysterio Jr. But before we get to that, listen to this crazy story here. I got a special message from Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream last week. They wanted to congratulate me on my half-year, you ready for this? Half-year birthday. So 6 months before my birthday, they send me a coupon to get some free ice cream, which I thought was hilarious. Now, I came across one of the more popular clips from last year's birthday episode, one of the more popular clips in the history of the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast. So I'm going to do this for you folks, okay? I'm going to play this thing for you, even though I can't stand it. But since Ben & Jerry has got me celebrating my half birthday, enjoy this clip from that no good Just Larry singing me a special song for my birthday.
Duke, this is your favorite listener, Just Larry. Just Larry knows you're celebrating your birthday, so Just Larry's going to sing you a special rendition of a song written, produced and performed by, you guessed it, Just Larry. And it goes a little something like this. Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. Duke, remind me to send you a special copy of that one just because Just Larry knows it's going to be a smash hit. No need to say thanks, Just Larry knows you like it. Peace!
I gotta tell you, that Just Larry, he's very disturbing. But yeah, that was a blast from the past there. That was the birthday episode of Duke Loves Rasslin podcast from last year. Anyways, folks, listen. I got to address my fans out there, part of Duke's Rasslin crew. You know we have a special Facebook group out there, and if you want to be part of the Facebook group, just send me a message. Who knows, maybe you'll be selected there, because it is private, but we got some great folks in there. Anyways, I posed a question from Wrestling Inc. They had an article up about Rey Mysterio, and it says, Rey Mysterio says he's still waiting for something big to happen with WWE. Shout out to my good man, Raj Giri over there in Wrestling Inc. Great guy, great friend. He's been on the show numerous times. But I asked folks, I said, hey, is it time for Rey Mysterio to be champion one more time in the WWE? And the majority of folks responded positively, but of course you got to have a naysayer or two. In this case, J.W. JW, what's up, brother? J.W. Leonard is his name. This guy. He had the audacity to refer to Rey Mysterio Jr. as an overrated spot monkey. He says that his story in every match, I'm the little guy that has to use these high-flying moves to win, except there are 100 guys that can do moves better, and they are all the same size as everybody else. J.W. Leonard, let me explain something to you big time. Okay, first and foremost, those 100 guys that you're talking about that can do the moves better than Rey Mysterio, okay? 15, 20 years ago, they were sitting in their underoos, eating Chex Mix, watching Saturday morning cartoons, waiting for Saturday morning wrestling so they could see guys like Rey Mysterio do what they do best, okay? He's the originator. Stop the nonsense. Rey Mysterio Jr. absolutely could be champion again. Stop the nonsense. JW, if that's your real name. And then we have the original hitman, Scott McKenzie, a.k.a. Lenny Gross. Lenny says, and I can't even believe this, you can quote me on this one tonight if you want to, Duke. He should have never had a heavyweight belt in the first place. What did he weigh when he won the first belt? 145? That ain't gonna happen. Let me tell you something, Lenny Gross. Just because you're a big oak tree, that doesn't mean that the little guy can't make it happen. Did you ever hear about the story of David and Goliath? Okay? What do you think of that? Come on, man. Jesus. Rey Mysterio Jr. is an international treasure. He can win any championship. He can draw money. When he comes out, the fans still respond to him. And I think it's completely ridiculous for anybody to disparage the good damn name of Rey Mysterio Jr. Don't do it again. If you do it again, I'm going to contact my lawyers and we might start suing people. That's it. Okay? I'm not going to threaten to beat you up. I'm not going to threaten to beat you in a foot race. I'm not going to threaten to beat you in a dance-off. I will sue. That's it. That's how it works there, Jack. You got that right. Shout out to my good man, Rey Mysterio 619. You got it, brother. Yes. Folks, listen. Head over to Facebook. Head over to Twitter. Type in Duke Loves Rasslin. Let me know what you think of the show. Okay? We got some great guests coming up. We have Harry Burkett from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. He and I are going to talk about the good old days in pro wrestling magazines. That'll be fun. I'm sure my good friend Peter Vesey is going to want to recap the NBA draft, so expect to hear him again real soon. Also, Reed from Pugilism Pro Wrestling, Pugilism.co. This guy here, he covers not just pro wrestling, but all combat sports. And he has plenty to say about Ronda Rousey and what's been going on with her lately. So I can't wait to get Reed back on. And also, there's an actress / model, host, owner, and founder of Kit Body Fitness. We're talking about Caitlin Patricia Wheeler. Here's a young lady who is just awesome. She's done a lot of hosting and co-hosting gigs on various sports podcasts from all over. She would like to take the time to come on to the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast, not as a guest, but as a guest host. So I told her, I said, yeah, I'll have you come on. You and I can do our thing, and the Boston Bad Boy can sit back and stew over the fact that somebody better than him is going to come on the show and help me out. I always love to have a great mind to bounce things off of, and clearly this young lady must be a pro wrestling fan. She's reaching out to the Duke Loves Wrestling podcast, I hope at least. Huh, Caitlin? I hope. CPW. So anyways, she's going to be on in 2 weeks. Harry Burkett next week. We got some great stuff going on here, folks. And Babam, I'm telling you right now, you're going down. Summer Gamia, day before SummerSlam. Folks, stay tuned to the Duke Loves Wrestling Facebook page and the Twitter account. I'm going to start uploading my training videos. That's right. I am in gaming training mode. Okay? You got that right. Folks, send me some suggestions. What pro wrestling video games in between PS2 and ColecoVision? What pro wrestling video games should I beat Babam in and then get that X-Bit Gaming Championship? You let me know and we'll make that work there. Okay? Folks, be kind to each other and to yourselves. I'm going to have my man, the Duke of Dorchester, the man who was the WWF star. We're talking about Pete Doherty. He's going to take us out. Good night, everybody.
Hey, this is the Duke of Dorchester, the one, the only, the man of the hour. Yeah, can you handle that, baby? I want to tell you this. You've been listening to Duke Loves Wrestling.